Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, I've made a massive upgrade. Just before we get into it, I just want to say that none of this video is sponsored. This is something I bought myself and paid with my own money. This is my unit and my reviews are my own. So let's get into it. So before I dive into what I've bought, I feel I need to give some reasoning to the madness. As of late, I've been deciding when to install a diesel heater into the van because winter's now coming and it's literally 2 degrees, if you can see at the bottom there. So, well, it's went up to 3 degrees now, but when I came in the van, it was actually 1 degree. I was a wee bit worried if the BLUETTI or the EcoFlow would be able to run a diesel heater. So to get around it, I was looking to install a leisure battery, and that would primarily run the fridge and the diesel heater. So I went away and I was looking at batteries, the split relay chargers, inverters, and also where to put it in the van. And it was just giving me a headache. In the garage, there's plenty of space. Half of this stuff could go somewhere else. And the battery was going to go up the back there, and maybe the inverter would go to the side as well as a split relay charger. But it meant I had to lose space from the garage in order just to put a battery in. Then I started thinking, well, I've got the EcoFlow down the back of the van that charges the MacBook, does the lights, and then I've got the BLUETTI that does the fridge. It just didn't make sense to then install a leisure battery, so I've basically got a leisure battery, the BLUETTI, and the EcoFlow, so that just didn't make sense to me. So after a few days and with some divine intervention, if you believe in it, I came across this. So guys, just before I go any further, if you do go and enjoy the video, why not drop it a wee like and let me know in the comments. And if you haven't already, why not hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you're always notified when I leave a new video. So back to the video. So with it being so close to Christmas and Black Friday deals are on, I saw this power unit, and after some quick calculations where I would put it in the van and stuff like that, I bit the bullet. So what did I get? I got the BLUETTI AC180P power station. Yes, I did buy another battery, but I traded up the other two to get it. Well, I sold them. So before, when I was using my BLUETTI and my EcoFlow, the both of them were 250 watt hour batteries, so giving me a combined battery capacity of 500 watts, which for me in this micro camper is plenty to run my fridge, my MacBook, to charge my phone, the lights. I never really had power anxiety, especially after putting the solar panel in, but there was a couple of times on the North Coast 500 where it was lashing down with rain and there was hardly any sun. I think I took the fridge off power for a couple of days just so that I had more power to do video editing on the laptop and stuff like that. So this thing that I've bought is kind of future-proofing the van, you know, so for anything I want to install, or if I get a new van. Shh, don't tell Dobby. And the other reason as well why I got this is because the problem then arose when I was looking at putting a diesel heater in and for how long I could run it. So most diesel heaters I've seen take about 130 watts just to start up, and I think it takes that to power down. Once it's up there, the wattage just drops, and I've seen them going for like 4 or 5 watts just at a continuous pace, and I think that's on the low setting of a diesel heater. In this space, you don't need a big diesel heater, so I think I might be able to get away with a 2 kilowatt one or maybe even a 5. As my two power generators were both 250 watt hours, they're not really giving me enough room to breathe to turn a diesel heater on and off. And also the other problem was the BLUETTI one is the only one that 12 volt is 10 amps. The EcoFlow I think is only like 8. So let's get into it and let me get you a closer look at it. So this is it here, and as you can see, it's a lot bigger than the EcoFlow and the BLUETTI was. I think the BLUETTI and EcoFlow went to about there. It's just the same display though as the BLUETTI EB370, I think it was. So there is actually 2 versions of this unit. There's the AC180 and the AC180P. This is the AC180P. All that means is it's got an orange tint on it, but the AC180 only comes with 1152 watt hours, and this one comes with 1440 watt hours, so an extra 288 watt hours. And on the Black Friday deal, the AC180 was coming in at 550 and the AC180P was coming in at 650 for 288 watt hours for an extra £100 seemed like a good deal to me, especially given the fact that my BLUETTI and my EcoFlow were both 255, 256 watt hours. So to me, it was like you're getting the AC180 plus an EcoFlow or a BLUETTI. But I mean, for some people, The 1150 watt hour AC180 would be fine at 550, but for that extra power for £100, given the fact that a BLUETTI or an EcoFlow are at least 270, 250, and that's only for 250 watt hours, I was getting that for an extra £100 for 288 watt hours. So my other BLUETTI and the EcoFlow, they have now gone to a new home, but their sacrifice did enable me to put the money towards getting this. In total for both the EcoFlow and the BLUETTI, I think I sold both of them for £240, which is pretty cheap, but I sold them during Black Friday and I couldn't compete with Black Friday's deals. So all I had to put was 410 to it. So in the box you get the manual with the safety certificate inspection thing, and next up is your cables. And what I quite like about this one is that's the only power cable. For a lot of units this size, you get a power brick that's like that size. So I love the fact that they've just gave you the one cable and that's it. So that's your wee grounding screw that goes in the side. I might just screw that on just now, just so I don't lose it. This is, I'm presuming, my solar cable. I need to check the wattage and stuff, but I'm pretty sure the cable that I've already got installed will work fine. And then you've got the car cable to charge it as well. So that's all you get in the box: car charger, solar charger, and power cable. And just like the EcoFlow and the BLUETTI, this also uses the app as well. So if you can see there, the AC180 just pops up there. It's the same features for the BLUETTI V7A, but if you go into the settings, got power lifting, you've got charging modes for turbo, silent and standard. So in turbo mode, it actually goes, I think it charges at 1000 odd watts. In standard, it's like 500-600 watts. And you've got eco, firmware upgrades, advanced setting, but aye, bog standard app. But what's good about it is you can still turn the DC on, the lights and stuff, and turn it off as well from the app. So let's cover some of the features. To be honest, a lot of these units all do the same thing. Maybe a couple of things have got extra ports, or it might have wireless charging, it might have fast charging, it might have all this stuff, but generally they're all the same. But the most notable features for me, straight away, the 1440 watt hours. As I said, it's like 3 times the power that I've already had. The only other thing that I'm going to be putting in here is my diesel heater, and that's it. Every single thing that I've got in here is already in, so whatever I got out the old setup, I'm getting 3 times the amount of that now. It just makes me so happy. I quite like the fact that I started on a lower setup because I already know how to manage my usage. I know how long about 250, 500 watts gets me. So now to go to this, it's like all those concerns are still ingrained in me, so I'm not going to waste power, electricity and stuff, but I still have the security knowing that I can go away off grid longer and I don't need to worry about power. Next up is how much power it can actually use. So if you can see there, it says 1800 watts, but with the boost mode on, it actually goes up to 2700 watts, I think it is. That means we can run things like an air fryer, a microwave. I don't see me putting a microwave in here or an air fryer, but It's nice to have the option. It also diversifies the cooking part of the videos where I can maybe come up with new things that, you know, I've not done on the channel yet. Another notable thing is it charges up to 80% in 45 minutes. Fully charged, I think for me it was about an hour and 20 minutes. That's still quite fast. And I think one of the biggest things for me, and I think it goes back to the BLUETTI and EcoFlow, I just love the all-in-one package, because after looking up leisure batteries and inverters, split relay chargers, it was just giving me anxiety. I've always loved power stations because of how simple they are. And one of the biggest reasons why I got this unit that the other two couldn't do is there's another upgrade coming to the van. So this unit is part one of an upgrade, and the other part is the BLUETTI alternator charger, which basically plugs into the car battery, feeds it all the way back, and then you use that to basically charge it while you drive. So it's 1,440 watt hours. The car 12 volt charger only charges at about 100 watts. So you would need to drive 14 hours just to charge this. The BLUETTI alternator charger can charge up, I think, from 500 to 600 watts while you're driving. So that would charge that in about 2 or 3 hours. There is an EcoFlow version that does 800 watts, but I just need to check compatibility and stuff. If it turns out the EcoFlow charges more, then I might go with EcoFlow, but the BLUETTI one is a wee bit cheaper, so I might go with that one. And the final notable mention for me is the fact that it will run a diesel heater. I've seen a few videos on YouTube. Somebody was running an 8 kilowatt diesel heater. It went up to 130 watts and then it went down to like 4 or 5 watts and just stayed there. Now my lights are on full just now. These lights are taking 10 watts and it's saying I've got 79.2 hours left to go. So that's going well over, I don't know, 80, 90 hours. If that goes down to 4 or 5 watts, that could run for, I don't know, like 90 hours or something. That's crazy. Obviously, if I plug in lights and I'm charging stuff and I'm using other stuff, it's going to eat it up. But the rest of the features on the unit, you've got obviously your 12 volt socket here, 10 amps, and that's what's doing the lights just now. You've also got a DZ input, 12 volt, 60 volt, 10 amps. You've got one USB-C 100 watts and 4 USB-A 5 volt 3 amp USB sockets, and then you've also got 2 AC 230 volt household plug sockets, and then you've just got 3 buttons. That's your power button just to turn on the LCD, and if you hold it in, it will basically turn the lights off and turn the unit on, kind of thing. So the DC basically works all 3 of these, and the AC works the 2 plugs there. The display though is just the same across most of the BLUETTIs, I think. So you've got your input, output, and your percentage and how many hours it's projecting you've got left. So obviously you can plug your fridge, your lights. Up here you can do your solar charging as well. And on the top, if you can actually see, there's actually wireless charging for your phone at 15 watts. That's pretty cool. There's nothing on this side apart from an intake vent. I don't think there's anything on the back. Nah, there's nothing on the back. But on the other side, you have cable charging input for the house and stuff. You've got the circuit protector and you've got a grounding point as well. And then you've got the air outlet. Another cool feature as well is that you actually get these handles attached to it, and they're basically the form of the box. So they're not these like protruding out things. I think the EcoFlow had one where it was the handle would come out. So it's pretty nice that these are actually designed of the actual unit, and they're rubberized as well and quite solid. So it's nice that you've got them. So with any bit of tech, there's always some negatives. And one of the negatives I would say is the weight of it. It's 16.5 kilogram. It is a pretty weighty beast. I'm not really expecting to be carrying it a bit much, you know, it's got to be in the van. So the only times it'll be coming out is, you know, if I'm at the house and just charging it there or stuff, you know, so I would have liked it to have been lighter. The other one I think is only one USB-C port. I just think with how more USB-C's used, I think they could have maybe had 3 USB-A ports and 2 USB-C, but it is what it is, but at least it's 100 watt charging. But in fairness, I would say those are the only 2 things that bother me. For your USB-C devices, you can just use USB-A adapters. They work just fine. So let's answer the big question, where the hell am I going to put it? It's too tall to sit in one of the bed storages. There's no room for it where the fridge is. The only place I know where to put it is where the EcoFlow and my interface were before, and it's going to need to go in here somehow. I'm thinking take the 2 doors off and the middle ledge. To be honest, the top drawer I never use unless I'm storing towels, and the middle is where the EcoFlow and modular interface went. But That's the only space I'm losing is for my audio interface, but I can find somewhere else for that. So this is just a video of me trying to take the old ledge out and try to find a space to put this new power station. One of the good things about building your own camper is you remember how all the screws went in, kinda. Because of the weight of the BLUETTI, I wanted to reinforce the ledge that was going onto, so I took it out and I tried to take off as much of the old vinyl as much as I could, and I didn't have any more black wrap to basically re-wrap the ledge again, but I did have this orange felt stuff. It needs to be tidied up around the edges, but the colours go well, so I think it'll work. The unit is quite sturdy and doesn't have much movement, but I wanted to play on the side of caution, so to protect the unit from falling forward on a turn, I came up with a seat belt for it out of Velcro. One on each side, and they go through the handles and then lock onto the strong Velcro. It's just extra peace of mind when driving. And here's a fit test before I add the shelf back on. I trimmed the orange wrap and checked the Velcro straps as well. It does feel like dead space, but I'm sure I'll find stuff to fill it with, obviously whilst allowing airflow, but to be honest the top drawer was barely used anyway. And this is it all finished, painted, installed, and it feels good having all that power in one place now. Now I do need to sort that out, but I'm changing all the wood around the bed anyway to save on weight, so that'll be a job coming up. And the final job actually lucked out because the fridge power cable ran all the way to the back, so no need for an extension. My thinking is running it under the plastic and just velcroing it to the side of the walls all the way to the back to keep it out of the way. But unfortunately there's a hard piece of metal under there and I was a bit worried about it fraying the wire and catching on it. So it's tucked in tight and the parts going through the van will be stuck down close to the floor with Velcro anyway, so they're not coming loose. And I'll also do the same with the solar cables as well. So what's my final thoughts on it? I love it. I'm happy with the price that I got it at. Is it overkill for this size of camper? Maybe. But I think, again, it all comes down to what your needs are and what you'll actually be using it for. To go away and have that peace of mind that you can get some work done, you can put the heating on, and even use an electric blanket through the night, you're not worrying about power. Especially when I get the second part of the upgrade with the charging alternator, it's just going to be the complete setup. I know there's going to be people that are saying £650 for 1440 watt hours. Are you mental? You could get a full 200 amp leisure battery set up for that. Possibly, but I still need somewhere to put all of that. And I'm not willing to gear up the space in order to install it. Again, also, I just hate wiring things up. And also as well, because of how big this power unit is, I love the fact that I can actually take this out the van and use it in a power cut. And especially because we're coming into winter, this just gets me excited knowing that I can just install my diesel heater and I don't need to worry about power anymore. If you're in the market for a power station and you've got a wee bit of money to spare for Black Friday, I would definitely recommend looking at the BLUETTI. I can't speak any more highly of it. So guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. If you feel you got any benefit, if it's gave you any ideas for your electrical setup, and if it's maybe swayed you to having an all-in-one setup like this, why not drop the video a wee like? It would be much appreciated, and let me know in the comments. And let me know in the comments what you're doing to heat your van for this winter, whether it's an electric fan or a diesel heater or just hot water bottles or having a wee dog in the van with you to keep you warm. And if you haven't already, hit that bell notification and subscribe so that you don't miss the next video. So until the next one guys, peace.